Ladies and gentlemen, grab some popcorn and buckle up because I'm about to unleash the full review of John Wick 4. Let me start by saying that I'm a huge fan of Keanu Reeves and the John Wick franchise. So honestly, when I heard that there was a fourth movie, I had to go see it, and I saw a lot of positive reviews. Like for instance, IGN rated it a 10 out of 10. Masterpiece. So I had a lot of high hopes for the movie, but unfortunately, in my opinion, it felt very short. It was definitely not the best John Wick movie that I have seen, but let's start at the beginning. The High Table appoints a new bad guy. His name is the Marquis, and they give him basically all the power and all the money and all the henchmen that he needs to be able to take down John Wick. My biggest issue with this storyline is that John Wick is not going up against the High Table, but rather he's going up against the Marquis, and it's almost like replacing Thanos with like a low-level Hydra grunt. It just doesn't have the same impact or thrill. Now, let's talk about the new characters because there's quite a bit of them. One of them being Kane, who I've really liked. I think he's a really cool addition to the franchise. He's got a really unique fighting style and a really nice backstory, surprisingly. But then there's the Tracker. I mean, a character whose defining trait is having a dog that bites people's nuts off. I mean, sure, it's an effective strategy, but it just feels like a lazy attempt at humor. Speaking of laziness, let's talk about the fight scenes. The one in Osaka in particular felt very staged. It didn't quite flow well. It's like watching a high school play where the actors were all out of sync with each other. Like, it didn't make sense. It didn't flow. There's even one scene where like John Wick's fighting and you see clearly one of the guys just standing there and waiting for him, to finish fighting that one dude so that he could come in and finish the scene. Nothing compares to the infamous stair scene. Oh boy. It's almost like they took a page out of Home Alone, and they added a bunch of unnecessary tumbling. I mean, how many times can John Wick roll down a flight of stairs? Apparently, the answer is for all eternity. In my theater specifically, most people were just laughing out of pure cringe. Now, I will say that the gun scenes were very cool. I enjoyed the gun scenes, especially there was one gun scene where the director did something cool. I haven't really seen it in cinema, but where you're passing through one room to the other and the camera's floating on top. It kind of looks like a video game, and then you have John Wick with this freaking shotgun that shoots sparkles. It's crazy. Yeah, I like that. But finally, John Wick gets to the destination where he's supposed to fight the Marquis. But he is not really fighting the Marquis. He's really fighting Kane at the end, and they're basically doing an old-fashioned the good, the bad, and the ugly, where they're just taking the steps and getting closer and closer to each other until one of them dies, basically. But at the end, we see John Wick killing the Marquis in a gotcha moment. That's the only way that I could put it. Leading up to John Wick dying. He dies in the stairs. He hears his wife's voice. Which I thought was a good way to end the John Wick franchise. I enjoyed that. I think that they did good with that ending. I think it puts a nail in the coffin, and I'm okay with it. Overall, I really don't think John Wick 4 deserved the 10 out of 10 from IGN. It was definitely not the best John Wick movie. I do believe that John Wick 3 was the best John Wick movie that we've gotten. I mean, that was a straight up masterpiece of a movie. It was almost like Revenge of the Sith. Was John Wick 3, and then we got The Rise of Skywalker was John Wick 4. That's how I felt. So overall, I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. I would give John Wick 3 the 10 out of 10. Anyways, let me know if you guys agree with me in the comments, and if you liked the video and agreed with me, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and give me a thumbs down. I don't care. Also, please consider subscribing, as this is a brand new channel that I'm building. I'm going to be putting up reviews for movies as well as games, and I look forward to giving my real honest opinion.